There's a certain magic to exploring a new city. The iconic landmarks, the bustling squares, the famous attractions. But lurking just beneath the surface of that magic is a world of tourist traps designed to do one thing: separate you from your money. From overpriced restaurants with mediocre food to souvenir shops selling mass-produced trinkets, these traps can turn a dream vacation into a disappointing and expensive experience. Welcome to Travel with Mila. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on tourist traps and arming you with the knowledge you need to avoid them. I'm going to share my tried and true strategies for finding authentic experiences, eating like a local, and saving hundreds of dollars in the process. Because the best travel memories are the ones that are real, not the ones that are manufactured for tourists. So, what exactly is a tourist trap? It's any place or experience that is overpriced and inauthentic, catering primarily to tourists who don't know any better. Think of that restaurant with the multilingual menu and the pictures of the food right next to the city's biggest landmark, or that traditional cultural show that feels more like a theme park performance. The good news is, with a little bit of awareness, these traps are surprisingly easy to spot and avoid. Let's start with food, because this is where most travelers fall victim. The number one rule is to never eat in a major tourist square. The restaurants there pay a premium for their location, and they pass that cost on to you in the form of inflated prices and subpar food. Instead, walk just a few blocks away from the main attractions. Look for small, unassuming restaurants with menus in the local language and no pictures. If the place is filled with locals, that's a great sign. This is where you'll find the authentic, delicious, and affordable food that you came for. Another tip is to do your research before you go. Food blogs, travel forums, and even Google Maps reviews can be a great resource for finding hidden gems. I always make a list of a few highly rated, local approved restaurants before I even arrive in a new city. It takes a little bit of planning, but it's so worth it to have a memorable meal instead of a forgettable one. Next up, souvenirs. We all want to bring home a little something to remember our trip by, but those souvenir shops clustered around the major sites are almost always selling the same mass-produced, low-quality items that were likely made in a factory thousands of miles away. Instead, seek out local markets, artisan co-ops, and small independent shops. This is where you'll find unique, handcrafted items that actually reflect the culture of the place you're visiting. Not only will you get a more meaningful souvenir, but you'll also be supporting local artists and the local economy. I'll never forget the time I was in Oaxaca, Mexico. The main square was filled with vendors selling the same colorful trinkets. But I took a walk a few blocks away and stumbled upon a small workshop where a family was weaving the most beautiful textiles I had ever seen. I spent an hour talking to them, learning about their craft, and I ended up buying a beautiful rug that now hangs on my wall. It's a one-of-a-kind piece that tells a story, and it's a far more precious memento than anything I could have bought in the tourist square. Now, let's talk about attractions. The world's most famous landmarks are famous for a reason, and you shouldn't skip them just because they're popular. But you can be smart about how you visit them. The key is to book your tickets in advance, directly from the official website. This will allow you to skip the long lines and avoid the unofficial tour guides and ticket scalpers that prey on unsuspecting tourists. Be wary of anyone who approaches you on the street offering to sell you a ticket or a tour. It's almost always a scam. And when it comes to tours, choose wisely. Instead of a large generic bus tour that rushes you from one site to the next, consider a small group walking tour with a local guide. These tours are often more intimate, more informative, and they can take you to places that the big buses can't go. Or, even better, create your own tour. With a good guidebook and a sense of adventure, you can explore a city at your own pace and on your own terms. Finally, a word about transportation. Taxis in tourist areas are notorious for overcharging. Whenever possible, use public transportation. It's cheaper, it's more efficient, and it's a great way to see the city like a local. If you do need to take a taxi, make sure it's a licensed one and that the meter is running. Or use a ride-sharing app like Uber or Lyft, where the price is set up front. Avoiding tourist traps is not about being cynical or suspicious. It's about being a savvy, informed traveler. It's about seeking out authenticity and making conscious choices that support the local community. It's about creating a travel experience that is meaningful, memorable, and uniquely your own. The next time you're on the road, I challenge you to step off the beaten path, to explore the side streets, to talk to the locals, and to discover the hidden gems that are waiting to be found. You'll be amazed at what you find. What are the worst tourist traps you've encountered? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to Travel with Mila for more tips on how to travel smarter. Thanks for watching, and happy travels! Let's dive deeper into the psychology of tourist traps, because understanding why they work is key to avoiding them. They prey on a few common traveler vulnerabilities: a fear of missing out, FOMO, a lack of local knowledge, and the desire for convenience. The operators of these traps know that tourists are often in a rush and are willing to pay a premium for something that is easy and accessible. That's why the most blatant traps are always located in the most convenient high-traffic areas. The simple act of walking 10 minutes in any direction away from a major landmark can transport you into a completely different, more authentic world. Consider the classic free gift scam. A friendly-looking person approaches you and offers you a free bracelet or a sprig of rosemary. The moment you accept it, they demand money and can become quite aggressive if you refuse. The best defense is a polite but firm, "No, thank you," and to keep walking. Don't engage, don't stop, and don't feel guilty. You are not being rude, you are being a smart traveler. Another area to be cautious of is currency exchange. The exchange kiosks at airports and in major tourist areas almost always offer the worst rates and charge high fees. The best way to get local currency is to use your debit card at an official bank ATM. You'll get a much better exchange rate, and while your bank may charge a small fee, it will almost always be less than what you'd pay at a currency exchange booth. Before you travel, be sure to inform your bank of your travel plans to avoid having your card frozen for suspicious activity. And a final thought on authenticity. It's a word we hear a lot in the travel world, but what does it really mean? To me, it means connecting with a place and its people on a genuine level. It means understanding that a culture is not a commodity to be bought and sold. It's a living, breathing thing that you can only experience by being present, by being respectful, and by being open to the unexpected. The most authentic travel experiences are rarely the ones you can book in advance. They're the ones that happen when you get a little lost, when you strike up a conversation with a stranger, or when you say yes to an invitation that takes you somewhere you never expected to go. These are the moments that make travel so transformative.